The story begins with a dangerous mission as Priest and his team enter a vampire hive. Their mission is to kill the vampire queen. Suddenly, mysterious sounds echo through the darkness, and moments later, vampires begin dragging the team underground one by one. Priest and Black Hat manage to fight their way toward the light, but at the last second, Black Hat is seized by a vampire. Priest is unable to save him. The film then reveals that humans and vampires have been locked in a brutal war for centuries, a conflict that nearly destroyed the world. To survive, humanity built massive walled cities under the protection of the church. They also created elite warriors known as priests, fighters powerful enough to wipe out entire groups of vampires on their own. Over time, most vampires were killed, and the remaining ones were imprisoned. Although a few still survived underground, they were no longer considered a threat. As a result, the church shut down the priest program, and these warriors were forced to live as ordinary citizens. Only a handful remained, and their existence was slowly fading into history. This world is very different from the one that existed before the war. Pollution from the conflict has reduced the amount of sunlight reaching the earth, leaving much of the world in darkness. Beyond the city walls lies another world where people choose to live outside the church's rules, even though they remain vulnerable to vampire attacks. One of those people is Owen, who lives beyond the walls with his wife and daughter, Lucy. One night, Lucy returns home late, leading to an argument with her father. Owen worries about her safety, while Lucy has grown tired of their isolated life and wants to experience the wider world. Before the argument can continue, the ground suddenly begins to shake. Looking outside, Owen sees a group of vampires heading straight toward their home. He grabs his gun while Lucy's mother quickly hides her in the basement. Moments later, the house fills with gunfire and screams. Trapped below, Lucy can only listen as her parents are brutally killed. Then the basement door suddenly opens, and someone drags her away. Elsewhere, a sheriff who lives inside the walls seeks out Priest. He tells him that his brother is dying, his sister-in-law has been killed by vampires, and Lucy has been taken. He also explains that he loves Lucy, and that she always believed her uncle was the only person capable of killing vampires. Desperate to save her, he asks Priest for help. Understanding the seriousness of the situation, Priest goes directly to the church authorities and reports that vampires attacked his family and kidnapped his niece. However, the church leaders refuse to believe him. They insist that all vampires were either killed or imprisoned, and claim that the attack must have been carried out by bandits instead. Priest knows Lucy's life is in danger and wants to search for her beyond the walls, but the church warns him that leaving his post will result in his dismissal and a death sentence. Despite the threat, Priest chooses to act. He attacks the church security guards, gathers his equipment, and sets out to find Lucy. Meanwhile, Lucy is being transported inside a cage aboard a train. As a vampire approaches the cage, Black Hat suddenly appears. When Lucy demanded to be let out, Black Hat warned her that the vampires would tear her apart the moment she stepped outside. Unafraid, Lucy replied that her uncle Priest would come to save her and kill every last vampire. What she did not know was that Black Hat had been waiting for that very moment for a long time. Meanwhile, Priest crossed the dangerous wastelands and arrived at his brother's home. There, he found an old family photograph and kept it as a final memory. Afterward, he and Hicks returned to the city, where Owen was taking his last breaths. Before dying, Owen begged his brother to save Lucy no matter what and destroy every vampire responsible. With that, Priest and Hicks began preparing for their mission. At the same time, when the church leaders learned of Priest's rebellion, they ordered 4 priests to bring him back dead or alive. Meanwhile, Owen was buried alongside his wife, Shannon. After the funeral, Priest and Hicks began investigating the attack. Priest discovered a set of strange footprints that belonged neither to vampires nor their servants. Following the tracks, they arrived at a place that had once been used to hold imprisoned vampires. Hicks explained that it was now occupied by humans who willingly served vampires. However, they found no actual vampires there. Instead, the area was inhabited by people who had become half human and half vampire. They had been infected with vampire blood, but had never fully transformed, so vampires used them as servants. The two searched everywhere for Lucy, but found no sign of her. When Hicks questioned the servants, they denied knowing anything. Moments later, the half-vampires surrounded them. Priest immediately attacked and killed nearly all of them. In the end, he left only one servant alive so he could get answers. Before he could learn much, the sun completely set. A dangerous smile appeared on the servant's face as he warned them that it was already too late. Seconds later, vampires began emerging from their graves, surrounding Priest and Hicks from every direction. Priest was ready for them. He pulled hidden weapons from inside his Bible, and a fierce battle erupted. Hicks fought with everything he had, but when one vampire began overpowering him, Priest stepped in and saved his life. Eventually, one screaming vampire fled the area, causing the others to retreat as well. After the battle, the terrified servant finally broke and confessed that Lucy had been taken to the Solamir hive. However, before he could reveal anything else, a vampire returned and killed him. The name Solamir hive immediately caught Priest's attention because that location had supposedly been destroyed during the war. Even so, he was convinced it held the answers about Lucy and the missing vampires. Before heading there, he spent several days teaching Hicks how to fight vampires. After a long journey, the two finally reached Solamir hive, also known as a vampire hive. Human skeletons were scattered throughout the area. The moment Priest stepped inside, memories of the war came rushing back, because this was the place where he had lost many of his fellow priests. He warned Hicks that every shadow could be dangerous. Priest then descended into the lower tunnels to investigate and instructed Hicks to shoot anyone who appeared besides him. While searching through the tunnels, Priest sensed someone nearby and followed the presence deeper into the hive. Suddenly, he was attacked. The attacker was a priestess named Tia. Priest quickly overpowered her, and Tia revealed that the church had sent 4 priests to capture him dead or alive, while the other 3 were searching for him in Jericho. Unlike them, however, she had not come to kill him. She had come to help him. A gunshot suddenly echoed in the distance, and Priest and Tia immediately rushed back to Hicks. There, they came face to face with a massive creature. Priest explained that it was the guardian of the hive. Fortunately, the monster was too large to reach them below, forcing the fight onto higher ground. In its first attack, it sent Priest flying and then turned its attention to Tia. The 2 priests fought together against the beast, and after a long struggle, Priest finally killed it. After searching the entire hive, they found no vampires. Instead, they discovered evidence that the vampires had been breeding there to build a new army for a future war against humanity. During their investigation, they also uncovered a tunnel connected to a mine and an underground railway that led directly to Jericho City. At that moment, Priest realized how the vampires had been moving around unnoticed. They traveled by train during the day and attacked cities at night. That same night, his theory proved correct when a vampire train arrived at Jericho Station. Moments later, Black Hat stepped out and ordered his army to attack. The city was quickly overrun as vampires entered homes and slaughtered the residents, while Black Hat stood outside watching the destruction. Soon, the 3 priests sent by the church arrived to stop him. However, Black Hat was far stronger than they expected. He ripped the heart out of one priest and brutally killed the other 2 before hanging their bodies as a warning. The next morning, Priest, Tia, and Hicks arrived in Jericho and found the city completely destroyed. There was not a single survivor. When they discovered the bodies of the 3 priests, Priest immediately understood that no ordinary vampire could have done this. Killing 3 priests was something they had never seen before. Another question soon came to mind. How had the vampires disappeared before sunrise? The answer awaited them at the train station. There, Hicks discovered that the train's next destination was Cathedral City. Hearing this, Priest and Tia finally understood the entire plan. Lucy's kidnapping had been a trap. The vampires wanted Priest and the remaining priests away from the cities so their army could attack Cathedral City without opposition. With no priests left to defend it, the city would be helpless. Priest immediately declared that they had to stop the train at any cost. If it reached the cities inside the walls, the vampires could wipe out the population because very little sunlight reached those areas due to pollution. Tia then revealed her plan. She would destroy the railway tracks with dynamite while Priest and Hicks boarded the train and rescued Lucy. Once the plan was set, all 3 began preparing for the mission. Meanwhile, Lucy remained imprisoned aboard the train, exhausted and badly injured. Black Hat brought her food and tried to manipulate her with his words, but Lucy refused to be influenced. When he was not looking, she secretly hid a knife. She then asked what he really wanted. Black Hat replied that vampires were superior to humans and that he intended to create a world ruled only by them. According to him, humanity had polluted the world and he wanted to cleanse it. Elsewhere, Hicks remained worried about Lucy. He asked Tia whether Priest would really kill her if she became infected. Tia explained that people infected by vampire blood suffered a fate worse than death. Before leaving the city, the 3 paid their respects to the fallen priests and gave them a proper burial. Tia then encouraged Priest and handed him a special weapon before they continued their pursuit of the train. Not long afterward, Hicks suddenly pulled out his gun and pointed it at Priest. He warned that even if Lucy became infected, he would never allow Priest to kill her. At that moment, Tia revealed a secret that completely shocked Hicks. Lucy was not Priest's niece at all. She was Priest's daughter. Before becoming a priest, He had a family of his own, but after receiving the church's orders, he was forced to leave them behind and join the priest program. That was why Priest had been forced to leave his old life behind. With no one to support her, his wife eventually married Priest's brother so Lucy could have a family and a father figure. Even after learning the truth, Hicks remained angry, but Priest reminded him that if they fought each other, they would never save Lucy. Hicks finally calmed down, and they agreed that stopping the train had to be their top priority. As they closed in on the train, Priest told Tia that if necessary, she would have to destroy it even if they were still aboard. Once the plan was set in motion, Priest and Hicks boarded the train while Tia rode ahead to plant explosives on the tracks. However, several familiar riders pursued her in an attempt to stop her. Inside the train, Hicks discovered countless vampire nests. The sight alarmed him because they could produce thousands of new vampires. Meanwhile, Priest reached the roof of the train, where Black Hat was already waiting. Priest was shocked to see him because this was the same Black Hat he had failed to save at the beginning of the story. Black Hat revealed that after being captured, the vampires had badly wounded him. The vampire queen then revived him with her blood and transformed him into a hybrid vampire. That was why he was far stronger than ordinary vampires and could even walk in sunlight. Before becoming a vampire, he had also been a priest skilled in combat, making him an extremely dangerous opponent. He claimed that the vampire queen had chosen him to help create a new world, and soon a fierce battle broke out between the two. As the fight continued, Black Hat's superior strength gradually gave him the advantage. Elsewhere, Tia successfully planted the explosives on the tracks, but the familiar riders soon caught up to her. She fought them bravely and killed them one by one, but not before one of them managed to cut the detonator wires. With no way to trigger the explosives remotely, Tia strapped all the dynamite to her motorcycle and sped toward the train, intending to crash into it and destroy it herself. Back on the roof, Black Hat offered Priest one final chance to join him, but Priest refused. Enraged, Black Hat knocked him off the train and assumed he had won. However, Priest survived and continued moving forward while hanging beneath the train. At the same time, Hicks fought his way through the train while avoiding the vampires and searching for Lucy. Eventually, he found the car where she was being held. Moments later, Priest burst up through the floor into the train, followed by a swarm of vampires. Hicks began tearing holes through the roof to let sunlight inside, forcing the vampires to retreat. Both Priest and Hicks moved toward Lucy, but just as they reached her, Black Hat appeared again. With a single strike, he threw Hicks off the train. Fortunately, Hicks found a familiar rider's motorcycle nearby and immediately resumed the chase. Inside the train, Black Hat continued overpowering Priest. During the struggle, Lucy managed to free herself, set one of the familiar riders on fire, and attack Black Hat. Before stopping her, Black Hat revealed the truth. Priest was not her uncle. He was her real father. Priest attacked again, but Black Hat caught him and pinned him to a wall with a knife before taking Lucy outside. A short time later, Priest freed himself and went after them. Just as Black Hat was about to drink Lucy's blood, Priest arrived and drove his special weapon into Black Hat's throat. During the struggle, Lucy slipped and fell, but Priest caught her in time. Now both of them were hanging from the side of the train while Black Hat prepared to push them off. At that exact moment, Tia raced toward the train on her motorcycle. She jumped clear at the last second, and the bike slammed into the train loaded with dynamite. Seizing the opportunity, Priest grabbed Lucy and leaped from the train. A massive explosion followed, engulfing the entire train in flames and destroying most of the vampire army. Hearing the blast, Hicks finally arrived. Relieved to find Priest and Lucy alive, he watched as Lucy ran into his arms. Moments later, Black Hat's hat landed nearby, leading everyone to believe he was dead. Afterward, Priest returned to the church and threw a severed vampire head before its leaders. Even then, the church leader refused to accept the truth. Priest pointed out that the burning train outside the city was proof enough. However, he also warned them that the vampire queen had not been on the train, meaning the real war was far from over. In the end, Tia revealed that the message had already been sent to the remaining priests. Together, they set out on a mission to end the war once and for all. With that, Priest's story comes to an end. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more movie recaps. Thanks for watching.